Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by iBranson.com. It's the place where you can find all the Branson shows and attractions, their latest schedules, so be sure and go check it out at iBranson.com. Now our guest today is Keeton Biddle with Hot Rods and High Heels, and it's her first time on the show, so I'm really looking forward to getting to talk to her and know her better. Now, here's the deal. Have you seen, folks, our new PlayBranson magazine? Woohoo! Now, if you haven't got it, you can pick it up all over Branson. There's show information, there's attractions, there's museums, there's what's new, there's free things to do, and so much more in here. So you're going to want to be able to check this out. We've got Dustin Tavella on the cover. He was one of our first interviewers earlier this year. So if you want to know more about his show and all the other stuff that's in here, whether it's golf and shopping, those type of things, you'll want to pick up our free magazine, PlayBranson, right here. So we'll be back in just a second with our guest, Keeton Biddle.
We're going to the 1950s. Howdy y'all, Clay Cooper here, and I want to tell you about a fabulous show, Hot Rods and High Heels at my theater, the Clay Cooper Theater right here in Branson, Missouri. We'll take you on a road trip to the good old days when poodle skirts and soda shops were all the rage. The whole family will have a rockin' good time with our talented cast, and you're going to love the stunning costumes, the fun dance routines, and the incredible singing. And how about that smoking hot band firing on all cylinders? Enjoy the nostalgia and charm of Hot Rods and High Heels, only at the Clay Cooper Theater in Branson. Get your tickets today. Visit claycoopertheater.com for more information, and we'll see you at the show.
Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, and on today's show, for the first time ever, I have Keeton Biddle. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Keeton is with a show called Hot Rods and High Heels, and we're going to talk all about that show in the second segment. But what we want to do today is get to know you better and your background. And how did you get into this business?
As a little kid, I just started dancing, and that's really all I did growing up. It's all I cared about, I guess. And how
old were you when you started?
8. Yeah, around 8.
Okay.
And then when I was probably 14 or 15, I said, I think I want to do this forever. And my parents said, well, I think you should go to college first. And I said, okay, well then can I just go to college while I do high school so that I don't have to, I didn't want to waste another 2 years as like an 18-year-old. So they let me do college online, just get an associate's degree online while I went to high school so that I could get to go try and dance in the real world when I was 18. And
okay, so let's just stop there, because I think that is extremely unusual for a high school student to say, here's what I want to do, number one, and I'm going to go to not only high school but college at the same time. You are driven.
Yeah, I really wanted to.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and I knew my parents were really serious. They weren't going to let me try and dance until I went to college. So I was going to show them, okay, I'll do it.
Okay, so what happened after high school?
I moved to Las Vegas. It's like a little 6-month trade school. It's called the Theater Arts Preparatory School. And they just teach you how to audition. And you take dance classes all day, like every day. You take ballet classes, and then you take from all these professionals, like people who have been working in the dance industry, and they kind of try to take you from being like a kid that does like competition dances into like teaching you how you dance in the real world and how you audition and all of those things. And so we did that. We did that for 6 months, and then after you graduate, it's kind of just like go out into the real world. And some kids get a job while they're at school. We have people that come in, companies that would come in and audition us while we were in school. So I got fortunate enough that while I was in school, I got a job. So I didn't. After I finished that little 6-month trade school, I just went to my first job, so that was a lot less scary and stressful.
Yeah. And where was that at?
Cedar Point in
Point.
Ohio.
In Ohio. That is one of the places that I've always wanted to go and never been. So if there's anybody that would like to gift me a trip to Cedar Point, I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
But that's a humongous theme park.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites that I've ever been to. I mean, Silver Dollar City is awesome, but
Yeah.
I'm a really big roller coaster freak, so Cedar Point was really cool for me, and I really liked working there.
Okay, and so how long were you there, and what were you doing while you were there?
I was in, so the first show that I was in, I went there 2 years in a row. The first show I was in was more like they took little songs from specific Broadway shows and made kind of like a theater-ish show, and then I did like a Halloween show there, and then the next year I came back and I did a saloon show, which is like Can Girls, just kind of silly stuff. But so I did very different shows while I was there, but they're really big on entertainment. They had about 18 different shows each summer, so there was a lot of different options of shows that you could be in. So yeah, I did that for 2 years in a row. I moved back home in their little off season, and then I would move back to Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you were enjoying that, like
Yes.
you're like, this is awesome. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Now, in high school, were you doing anything dance-wise, like whether in plays or productions, before you said, "Hey, I'm going to go to Vegas and go to this school"?
I did dance competitions.
Okay.
I'm from a really small town, so we didn't. I did choir, but we didn't have like a giant dance team or anything. I'm not from a really big school,
Okay.
but so yeah, I did dance competitions.
Okay, and from Cedar Point, then where did you go?
I worked at Worlds of Fun in Kansas
There we
City
go.
for a while. That's another fun theme park. That one was closer to home, and then I worked at the Texas State Fair in Dallas, Texas. That was fun and interesting. I just did random little, like, couple months here, a couple months there, and I really liked it. I liked getting to drive around and travel around to all these places. It was really fun for that time of my life.
So how, from the state fair, like, how did you get to Branson? Like,
I was working in Kansas City during their Christmas season at the Worlds of Fun theme park, and they posted on the Clay Cooper Theater Facebook page that they were having an audition. So I was pretty close. Kansas City isn't too far away from here, so I just drove here for the audition. I brought one of my friends with me. I said, "Hey, I'm going to this. You're coming with me." And so we just came down here and auditioned.
and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how long have you been at the Clay Cooper Theater?
I started at the beginning of 2020.
2020. So that would have been COVID.
Yeah, I think we did like 3 or 4 shows. We opened a couple shows, and then we had to shut down for COVID. And
Oh my gosh. She starts a brand new job in like 3 days, you're done.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah.
And then so you just kind of waited it out.
Yeah, I went back home for a couple months while everything was shut down. So I went back to Kansas and stayed with my family until they called us and said, "Hey, we're opening up again. Everyone come back." So,
And so you've been doing that ever since.
yes.
So are you, do you sing? Do you just dance? What is your specialty, I guess?
I do both. So in Hot Rods, I sing and I dance. And most of my shows that I'm in, I sing and I dance. I really like dancing. That's what I grew up, doing and focusing on. But yeah, I sing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so before you got to Branson, did you used to come to Branson, even though if you lived close, were you aware? Because some people come
Yeah.
to Branson, they have no clue what Branson is.
Yeah, I came to Branson a lot. We did dance competitions here a lot, and our theater does like a kids camp in the summer. It's called Kids Rock. Yeah, and I did that as a kid when I was probably 15 and 16. It's like a week-long camp, and Tina Cooper, our owner, she teaches a part of the camp, and then they allow the kids to come to the theater and do their show at the theater. So I did that when I was a kid. So I knew of the Clay Cooper Theater because when I was little, I came here in the summer sometime, and I did like a week-long intensive at the theater.
That is really cool. Now, I've heard some other stories where, they were kids sitting out in the audience saying, "Hey, I want to eventually do this." The other thing, we always hear this rumor, and we're always dispelling it. Well, we don't hear it as much anymore, and hopefully it's a little bit because of our show, is that Branson is just for old entertainers, okay? And guess what? You're a young entertainer. You're pretty darn young. And so you're just another example of, someone that came here as a student, and now you're working here as a young adult.
Yeah.
And so if someone else is out there and they're like, "Hey, should I jump into this field?" What advice would you give them?
Ooh. I think it's all about knowing where is right for you. You know, some people really want to live in a big city and things like that. Branson is very much a town that feels right for me. I like a place like Branson. So I don't know that Branson really is specifically for one certain age group. I'm young and I love Branson.
Yeah.
You know,
And see, I love that. I love that. And we have to have the next generation of entertainers, because at some point people do retire or die. I mean, it's going to happen. Like, I know it sounds morbid, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a lot of great entertainers that have left us, and so we have to find new entertainers to come in. Okay, folks, we're going to stop right here, and we'll be back in just a second.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meyer Hotels. Meyer Hotels features 4 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn and Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to MeyerHospitality.com and join our e-club to save 15% off your next stay and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels or visit MeyerHospitality.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. MeyerHospitality.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. On today's show we have Keeton Biddle, and she's from the Clay Cooper Theater, and actually she's in lots of shows there. I didn't realize that, but we're going to talk about first Hot Rods and High Heels. So tell us about that show.
Hot Rods and High Heels, so we're an all 50s themed show. It's a really, really fun show. It's so high energy. We all walk off the stage just absolutely sweating, but it's really fun, and it's a lot of personality. Like, we all get to kind of be ourselves, and you're playing a character, and I don't know, we all really enjoy that show. There's 8 of us, 8 performers. There's 4 girl singer-dancers and then 4 guy singer-dancers, and we have a 5-piece band backing us up, and the band guys, they're all great. But yeah, we split our show up into segments, so it's all 50s music, but we do like a rock and roll medley where we do all the great 50s rock and roll songs. We do a silly songs medley where we do like all the weird kind of quirky songs from the 50s.
Give me an example of a weird song.
My personal favorite that we just added this year is Purple People Eater.
Purple People Eater,
yes.
There we go,
Yeah,
yes.
so one of our boys wears a giant inflatable Purple People Eater like monster outfit, and I just think it is so wonderful. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts. And we do, so like the Perry Como TV special, we'll do like a reenactment of that. So we have one of our boys that comes out as Perry Como, and we essentially like recreate that TV show. Same thing with like a 50s themed prom. We do a whole prom segment, and that's fun. We get some audience participation and get some people up from the crowd for that. And yeah, it's really, really fun.
So when you talk about the 50s, that's kind of a long time ago. But here's what I'm going to guess. Most people will recognize a lot of the songs.
Yeah. Specifically, when I started, I didn't actually think I was going to know very many of the 50s songs, because that's not really music that my parents listened to when I was a kid. But I was really surprised when I started that I knew a lot more of the music than I thought I was going to. Like, that genre of music is just a lot more common than you think. Like, it's playing in the grocery store and you're not thinking about it, but it is. So a lot of people know it and they just don't realize.
Yeah. So this can kind of take people back to maybe a simpler time, but also a lot of times when we think about the 50s, it's really when we say it was kind of like the birth of rock and roll in some respects.
Yeah.
You know, so, and you said you had a rock and roll segment in there,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we do quite a few rock and roll songs, so that's fun. The boys have a couple good rock and roll songs in the show.
so not only, so it's almost like you guys are doing choreographed dance, almost like skits, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And so it's not just someone up on a stage singing. Like, there's a lot going on.
Oh yeah, it's very much singing and dancing. It's not there's not a whole lot of just standing around. And even in the parts where there might not be choreographed movement, we're also interactive with each other, and we have a really close cast. So we're always messing around with each other on stage, and I think that's also something that's really fun about the show, is that it might be different today than it was yesterday, just because of our personal interactions with each other. It's unique that way. I don't know.
Tell us, okay, so you're in some of these other shows, right? So tell us about some of the other shows you're in.
Yeah, right now I'm in Dean Z, the Ultimate Elvis, and he is one of the greatest Elvis tribute artists ever. He has a really big cast. We have a big band with us. We have 4 horns that are awesome. I've never got to be in a show with horns, live horns before. It's so cool. And we have 3 singers, 3 girl backup singers. And then this year we added boys. So we have a quartet. We have 4 boys that joined in with us. So it's really fun. It's a really big band experience, and Dean is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really good show.
And I've seen Dean over the years, but I hadn't seen him recently. And I did just go to the show a couple weeks ago, and I mean, it's just a great show. Class act, well produced. And when I saw all the backup singers, I'm like, I don't know of any other show in town that has that many backup singers. I really don't.
Yeah.
And then the horn section, like, there's some guys that have been in Branson that I haven't seen in years that are in that horn section. And once again, it's a great show.
Yeah, it's a very fun one. Lots of energy.
Okay. Now, are you in Clay's show too then?
I injured myself last year, unfortunately. So right now I'm not, but
Okay.
for the past couple of years, yes, I was. I was
Okay.
a dancer in that show.
Okay. So these are the 2 shows that you are in
This year, yeah.
This year, and of course Clay's show is at the theater, Clay Cooper's show, and then we also have the Hay Goods. We have #1 hits of the '60s. So this theater. Well, let's go back to the #1, not the #1 hits of the '60s, but Hot Rods and High Heels. Off the top of your head, do you know when they play?
We're Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and it kind of depends timing-wise. We're either a morning show or an afternoon show. So right now, Mondays are 10 a.m.s. If you want to come start your morning with a little pep in your step, you can see us at 10.
There we go.
That's on Mondays right now, and then on Wednesdays and Fridays, we're still doing 2 p.m.s. But it kind of changes throughout the year, but we
Right.
are always Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So.
Okay. So folks, if you want to see this show, you have to either go in the afternoon or the morning. And you heard the days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yes.
And then Dean Z is kind of just random,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, it's not a set
He's
schedule.
also, he only does Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but his is because he travels so much. Sometimes we'll have, 2 weeks off because he's somewhere amazing doing a
Yeah,
show,
no,
and
he's-
then he comes back. So, yeah.
He
But
travels all over the world doing this.
Yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
if we think about this, like, you had this dream to be in the business, and you at a young age said, I'm going to do it. You're now in Branson, Missouri. What do you think your future holds? Are you going to stay in Branson? You're going to go somewhere else?
Yeah, I think I'll stay in Branson.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty content. I like it here. I like that this is a normal place. Like it's you can live a normal life and also be a performer, and I think that's something that's so unique about Branson. I just think that that's really cool, and I really love Branson.
Yes, and that shows. And so, folks, go see Keeton and the rest of the cast over at the Clay Cooper Theater. Hot Rods and High Heels. It's a 50s show. You're going to have a lot of fun, or you can catch her at the Dean Z show at the same theater as well. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap the show up.
We're going to the 1950s. Howdy y'all, Clay Cooper here, and I want to tell you about a fabulous show, Hot Rods and High Heels at my theater, the Clay Cooper Theater right here in Branson, Missouri. We'll take you on a road trip to the good old days when poodle skirts and soda shops were all the rage. The whole family will have a rockin' good time with our talented cast, and you're going to love the stunning costumes, the fun dance routines, and the incredible singing. And how about that smoking hot band firing on all cylinders? Enjoy the nostalgia and charm of Hot Rods and High Heels, only at the Clay Cooper Theater in Branson. Get your tickets today. Visit claycoopertheater.com for more information, and we'll see you at the show.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We've been talking to Keeton Biddle today with Hot Rods and High Heels, and she's also in the Dean Z show. And you can find both of those shows at the Clay Cooper's Theater. It's located really in the heart of Branson's entertainment, right over there by the Titanic Museum, right across from the Best Western Center Point Inn. It's in the heart of Branson's entertainment. Now, this Hot Rods and High Heels show happens normally Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at either 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. You're going to have to check their schedules for exact times. Our guest next week is Rick McEwen, who is with The Gambler over at the Little Opry Theater. Always love talking to Rick. It's been a while since he's been on the show. We're glad to have him coming back. Now, if you need help planning your Branson vacation, be sure to visit ibranson.com, or you can call those folks at 1-877-ENTERTAIN, and you can get all the help that you need from the website or the folks online. Once again, we need your help. Go to our Facebook page, go to our YouTube page, like us, subscribe to us. We'd really appreciate that. Let us know what you think about the show. Tell us who you'd like to see on a future episode. We'd love to hear from you. Here's the deal. Music is always better live, so go see some live music this week.